well, Wilmont, please. All the way from the west side, why not? Olu Olu Mai, please come and share with us your mana'o.
Why not? Why not? Bro, I grew up why not? That's why I left.
Oh, shoot. Bro, you too funny. That's good. Aloha kakayaka. You know, when I walked up here, my legs were shaking, my body was quaking, was feeling so olu olu. But I realized it's because the air is thin and I'm from the hyena. It's like, just for walk up the hill. But worth the walk. Worth it, come up here, breathe this air. All right. So some of you already know my mo'olelo. I'm going to share this with those of you who don't know. There are people in this audience that I really pili with because we went through a huaka'i together. And in the process of that huaka'i, we learned a lot of things about being Kanaka. Just like Kawi said, we discovered some things that we had not been told all our lives. And it took us a lifetime to get to this point. For 9 months, I was huddled with a bunch of other Kanakas, literally gave up everything we had. Our jobs, school, things stopped for us because being Pili as one nation and moving forward as one nation was important to us. So we had to lift all the layers that had been piled onto Kanaka Ike, Kanaka consciousness. And fortunately for us, the generation that came after us, some of whom are in this house today, they're the ones that led the charge. They're still leading the charge. They're the ones that started digging up all this stuff, bringing the Kanaka Mo'ole out of obscurity. You guys know where the term Kanaka Mo'ole really come from? And this is really powerful stuff. If you have not, then you need to read the laws of Kamehameha the third. There is a law in 1843, you'll find it on page 70, chapter 5, article 3, section 1 to 10. You read the whole article. There are 3 people that are distinguished in Hawaii at the time. Kanaka Lahuie. These are those who are recognized as being alien or foreign to the islands of Hawaii. Kanaka Lahuie. The interpretation, alien, or whatever. For all practical purposes, anybody who comes from another country other than Hawaii. The second was Kanaka Haole Hawaii. A Kanaka Haole Hawaii was somebody who came from China, America, Philippines, Japan, but they wanted to be subjects of the Hawaiian kingdom. Kanaka Haole Hawaii. And last but not least, Kanaka Maoli. Kauikeaoli already recognized the Ike, that we are a true people, an indigenous people, who recognize as Kanaka Maoli. However, the Haolema, when they kakao, their version or their interpretation of the Olelo, they put Native Hawaiian. Because as was pointed out by Anakala, the term Native Hawaiian never applied. I'm going to tell you right now, my ohana, my house, tutu Pele, and tutu Lono. My mom, my father's mother, was Tama Kohulani Manolono. She was Hanau in Mailikini Heiau at Pu'ukoala. That's the Lono line. He's right. We are from the house of Lono. Tutupele, she completes the Tahitian line. Our ohana can trace her genealogy all the way back to Tahiti, where she was Hanau in Bora Bora. Anybody want to guess where she is buried today? Come on, Kanakas. This is your mo'olelo. Where is she buried today?
Amen. Amen.
She is buried in Aheleakala. Now, I had the opportunity to take a group of people on this huaka'i. They were really interested in learning about Pele, the goddess. When I had mentioned to them that Pele was my tutu and that she was kanu up in the mountains, the question that came out of their mouth was, how can you kill a goddess? I go, you cannot. But you can definitely elevate a kupuna to that status because of your aloha for her. In the mo'olelo about Pele, the thing that we don't learn is, we hear about the hakaka between her and Namaka Kahai. That mo'olelo is so old. But because we live in the day and age in which we live, we sometimes take things literally. There's a reason why the myths were written, right? To hide the things that are sacred to us as a people. So nobody can come on kapulu kapakahi, the pure ike that belongs to us. That's our legacy. That was hanau for us. That's what we need to embrace. Kalamai, if any of you are offended because for you tutu is in hale ma'u ma'u, well, that's not my tutu. My tutu died giving her life to preserve something for what she believed was right. When the Tahitians came and invaded this place, she was living in Honuaula, and her and her people got into this conflict. For some strange reason, after the Hakaka is Pau and Pele is dead, and her bones are scattered across Halegalad, the Tahitians left. There are 3 pu'us up in that mountain. They are Pu'u Hamo o Pele, Pu'u Kaivi o Pele, and Pu'u o Pele. You would only name 3 mountains or Pu'u after your kupuna because of something very important that they did. That you did not want the generation to poina or to forget. Why she's buried up there? I'll tell you why. To keep her away from all the opala that's down here. To keep her closer to heaven. Because that's her home. Now, there have been many who have suggested that Pele is an ugly old woman. I'm going to tell you right here now, as the ho'oilina of the house of Pele, Pele is a woman who walked with her head high and lived her life in a way where people could be proud. She sacrificed many for the benefit of her people as a whole. So they felt that out of reverence and respect for who she really was, that they would bury her in a place far away from all of that hakaka. A place where she can remain respected and revered, close to the Wao Akua, or the realm of the gods. Now, Auntie Miley, Uncle, every time I see them, my heart swells because they were the group of Hawaiians that would really malama me when we were going through this huaka'i to try and rebuild the nation from the ground up. It got to the point where we literally almost lost everything. I mean, ohana too. Well, we did some amazing things together that Kanakas just flat out don't think they can do. We were communicating with embassies all over the world, trying to tell our mo'olelo. Yeah, Uncle. Tonga, China, England, even the Secretary of State, well, when he was Secretary of State, even the office of Colin Powell. Of all the countries that we were communicating with, Tonga was the closest to saying they believed in what we were doing and they were going to support us. Their concern was they didn't want to be responsible for causing an insurrection on an international level. Satellite communication we were going to set up so much. Anyway, that was the time when I read the law and my son was about to hanau. And I read this really cool, just this little mana'o in the state law that said, if the mother or father could not kakau or ho'oma kakau, the palapala hanau for the child. Well, the revised statute don't talk like that. But it basically said if the parents cannot produce a birth certificate, the state will produce one for you. Listen carefully to the olelo. If the parents cannot produce one, the state will produce one for you. What did I learn? I can produce one palapala hanau. And that's exactly what I did. Now, my son is 13 years old today. He has 2 birth certificates. The state went and made one anyway without our consent or our signature. They just made one because, well, I think that's a whole different mo'olelo. I don't really care for the ike. But our palapala hanau for Samuel Peter Ka'iolani Kahaialii is housed in the Bureau of Conveyance. When Samuel started going to school, the first thing the teachers and the principals asked was, where's his birth certificate? And we'd say, no, palapala hanau keia. And they were like, oh, that's not the birth certificate. Well, ke helu nei, palapala hanau. And they were like, oh, you know what? Kalamai, Mr. Kahaialii, but we really need my state certificate. I said, aole, the kanavai says, and I read the kanavai for them. So you see, even in the Department of Education, they need to be educated, but that's the Department of Education. So I educated them, and they accepted his palapala hanau. When my son had to get rushed to the emergency room, the doctor said, hey, this boy, he no more on birth certificate or social security. Aole, you got to use his palapala hanau right there. Is it going to be a problem? No, Mr. Kahaialii. It just means we need to create a separate account for the child. Yeah, you got to really pay attention to the olelo, guys, because in it get keys. Get keys to our understanding. At that time, my oldest son was going to school in Lahaina Luna, and because of what he had learned about our struggle, our challenges as Kanaka, one day, who was it? Kaui said, everybody standing up, right, facing the flag and stuff. My son, when huli, turned and faced the other way. So the teacher gave him an F for social studies. So my son told me, and I said, well, why did you turn instead of face the flag? And he said, Dad, I cannot pledge my allegiance to a country that will break its treaties and lie to the people it has treaty relationships with. All on his own. He was also failing math. So one day I was on my way to a meeting. I had my suit on. I said, son, I'm going to go up there. I'm going to take care of things. When I went up there, the school saw me. This is Lahaina Luna High School, guys. The school saw me coming in my suit. They thought my son went out and hired a lawyer. So I talked to the principal, I talked to the vice principal, talked to the counselor. I said, look, I know my son. My son is very smart and very intelligent. He wouldn't do any of this ignorantly. He had to have a reason. And if you're going to teach him these things for which he is already applying, then why fail him for something you already taught him?
Aye.
You're responsible. Well, quickly he got an A in social studies, and they changed his algebra, so he got an A in algebra. They put him in an electronic class, and just like that, boom, through the roof. So you know what, Kanakas can.
Aye. Yeah. Yeah.
But we only can when we do something that most of us really don't like doing. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. If you no read, you will be forever ignorant. And that is what corporate America is banking on. The ignorance of the people can easily be conquered. And we can sway you wherever they like. Because I have read the words of our kings, our queens, advisors. I'll tell you a funny story. This is really cool. And everybody know Kate Thompson, yeah, Maui Police Department. I think he retired, but anyway. One day I was cruising down Front Street. I was going maybe, I think he said 20 miles over the speed limit. Coming down. And then my son and I look in the mirror. We see brother throw his gun in the car, and he just hauling after us. Pull us over by Mala. He go, bro, I need to see your license. So I gave him one Hawaiian Kingdom license. Because according to the Kanavai, can, you know.
Okay.
But you got to really be smart. Don't just go out and kapulu kapakahi, make any kind, and then you say, oh, according to the Kanavai, this is my... No. You better ike. You better know, right? Because these guys, they're getting smart. Yeah. Now they're trying to pull the ignorant trick. Well, if they're ignorant, then it's your kuleana to make them unignorant. Because once they know what you know, then they cannot argue against the laws that are still here because we're still here.
Aye.
So this officer, look at it. He said, you know what, brother, I'll tell you something. If I write you this ticket, this what can happen. The insurance going up, blah, blah, blah. This. So he telling me all of this stuff. Okay, shoot. Go ahead, write me the ticket. So, oh, brother, I don't like. I said, wait a minute. First you're telling me if you write them. Now you're telling me you don't like. I'm going to tell you something. Write the ticket. It's your job. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen to that ticket. I'm going to take this ticket. I'm going to make Xerox copies. I'm going to post the law. And I'm going to send this to the Lieutenant Governor, because he's the Secretary of State for Hawaii, to the Governor. I'm going to send this to the Chief of Police, to the Mayor. Everybody on the council going to get a copy of this memo. Brother said, you know, I never mind then. Now, my son, this is the same son who in Huli never like pledge allegiance. My son who's sitting next to me go, Dad, I cannot believe you didn't get a ticket. I said, yes, son, but I didn't tell him not to give it to me. I didn't tell him he never have jurisdiction. I didn't tell him all of that opala that everybody else pull on the police officer. I told him to do his duty. Because brother, when hold his hands up, swear to uphold the law as a matter of principle, he's supposed to write that ticket. But you know what happened, eh? Brother saw the Kahaialii name and he was trembling. Because Kahaialii is a big tribe on both sides of the fence. Now, I told my son, I said, hey, I wasn't trying to punk the guy. You witnessed it yourself. He said, yeah, Dad, but I still cannot believe it. So what does that tell you? The police officers don't know the Kanavai, whether it's the state of Hawaii or the kingdom of Hawaii. And if they don't know and they're ignorant of the law, what you supposed to do? You are empowered as a people of a very intelligent culture, right? We lived here almost 2,000 years. We built walls. We set up divisions. Ahupuas. We planting plants that shouldn't be growing in places where they're growing. That's got to tell you something about us savages. Brother's wife. I was cruising along the road. I get one call from the courthouse. It's her. She's in court because Tagomo would give her one ticket. And anyway, blah, 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 blah. So I told her, I said, you know what? I just read one case. And they went challenge the gun. She goes, so what should I do? I said, challenge the gun. She goes, why? I said, because you don't know if the gun's still working properly. They need to prove in court that the instrument they used against you is certified, qualified, and functional. Because they could not present the evidence, they had to throw that out. Took a quick recess. She called me back. And she said, okay, now they're taking a recess. What should we do? I said, challenge the officer. She goes, challenge the Guma, challenge the Guma. What am I going to challenge him on? Well, if he's the officer that used the instrument, that used the tool, he has to prove in court that he is certified, qualified, and trained to use this instrument. They ended up dismissing that case. Now, this is all li'i walenoia. This is all small stuff. But there's small steps that help us walk that path. Gotta be pono. Ua kakao no iau I ko'olelo no iau. A iki amana'o. He ono no kiola ina pono no kako. That simply means life can be so ono as long as you pono. Pono means right place, right time, right reason. Yeah. There are ways to do things. Pono, you can accomplish some pretty cool objectives. Now, I am a very, very strong advocate for nah, no need. You guys can hear this. Can you? Okay. On true subject, okohoai pai aina. If you're gonna be Kanaka Maui, helu kanavai, and go find the laws, because your rights have been declared and affirmed since 1839, and they've never been expunged, never surrendered. You still have those rights. Now I've heard kupuna say, "Oh, kalamai, but what about all the pensions and what about the Social Security and blah blah blah?" That's not my kuleana. But I will tell you this: if our kupuna can live in this place for almost 2,000 years without it, you don't need it. Start hapai pohaku. Carry your own rocks. Build your lo'i. Restore the lo'i. They're putting, for crying out loud, they're putting in urban sprawl where lo'i used to be. The banyan tree. The banyan tree in Lahaina. It's one of the biggest invasive species on this island. We need to cut that tree down. Because what used to grow over there, was ulu, uala, and kalo. No wonder Pi'ilani loved this place. He loved that place because it get enough to feed his people. Nobody gonna eat banyan tree berries, I guarantee you that. We gotta really broaden our horizon, people, and do the pono thing, because what do I say? Kanaka, Kanaka, That means you can be aka. Or you can just do what all the other Kanaka wannabes, American wannabes out there do. They just, yeah, I Kanaka, but I gotta pay my taxes. I Kanaka, but I gotta eat Big Mac. I Kanaka, but I'm still pledging my allegiance to the flag. There is an old olelo that says you cannot serve two masters. Because either you will love one and hate the other. Kani, 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 kani. When I lived in Arizona, where I was building missiles for a living, I realized what a waste. But I was doing it at that time because I believed that was how I was going to support my family. I built some incredible stuff. Guys, these guys, they can do some amazing things with technology. But the thing they'll never do is conquer the soul of the Kanaka Maui.
Yeah. Hey, yeah.
So you got to be diligent, be vigilant, be strong. This is the song that would resonate with me and still resonates with me in my ohana. We do this at practically every show we do together. My 13-year-old son, the one I made the Hanau for, he asked me one day, he said, Dad, how come you guys singled me out? Why did you guys do this for me? And so I told him, he's 13 now, I said, when you turn 14, the next 4 years of your life is going to be dedicated to serious study of what your kuleana is going to be when you turn 18. You will be one of the few Kanaka Maoli walking around sovereign in your country. And you will need to exercise all the mana you can muster to bring your people together. And he said, well, Dad, what if I no can? I said, if you couldn't, I wouldn't believe in you. But you was born at a time when we were really going through this struggle. And I feel the struggle is worth continuing. Because the day will come. The day will come, because it's already manifesting itself in the next generation. I mean, for crying out loud, take a look at the 30-meter telescope. When they took down the American flag at the University of Hawaii, I was like, whoa, this is Ono stuff. It's happening with the next generation. Why? They don't want to live through the lie that we had to. They're tired of it. They want what we want. They want the truth. We cannot thrive as a people and as a nation if we think we can plant ourselves in this lepo they created for us and think we can blossom and grow. No can. Truth. Truth is the light, the sunshine that will nourish us as a people. And ho'ulu lahui will come to pass. It has to. Because I don't believe that we as a people are so ignorant that we are destined to destroy ourselves. I believe the time is going to come. And we need to just be makakao, whole makakao, to engage. From stone cutters, to kalo planters, to chanters. If you kalai la'au, kalai pohaku, then let's start to kalai kalahui. And let's start to carve the nation that we were born to live in. If you, all of you, still need to feed yourself this poi of truth, all I can do is encourage you to go and test it out. This Kanaka right here, hey, the brother, this is the Leo, man. Kaniloa, ever since she started learning about this thing, and when you get a chance to hear him speak before county council and burial council, brother's voice, you can hear him in the next room. Because he believes in the truth. And he's very hanapa'a on that truth. Yeah. We need to do the same thing. Now I gotta tell you something about this flag. I gotta say something about this flag. What part of that kahai is Hawaii? And what part of that kahai is another country? Right? Get two countries on that flag if you didn't know. Get two countries. And only one country betrayed us when we needed her help the most. And it's still on that flag. Nobody think about this, right? If they were really our allies, then where were they when this kapulu kapakahi was happening? They were huli on us. This flag serves as a constant reminder of that betrayal. I think we as a nation, we really need to start opening our minds. And you know, Hawaii Pone'i, you guys know Hawaii Pone'i was written by Kalakaua, right? Hawaii Pone'i was written by Kalakaua for Kamehameha. The music is not Hawaiian. The music is German. Right? If you don't know that, you need to really go do the research. Henry Berger, talented musician out of Germany. He was the one who helped put the mele together for the song. I'm sharing these things with you because I want you to know. I want to open up your ike. Yeah? Once your ike is open and you start asking the right questions, your kupuna can start leading you to the right answers. If you don't ask, you don't get. You gotta ask. I got one more little like Shen. One more million. This is from my papa. This mele is called Hi'ilave. It's a song my father used to sing all the time. And I used to think it was just a song. It's not. It's a mele about us. For those of us who can trace our kuauhau all the way back to Waipio Valley. By the way, if you hanau Maui, you should do your mo'okuauhau and trace yourself, your genealogy all the way back to Iao Valley, right? Because Iao is an important part in your history as a people. People pili to this moku. This song tells a story of a love affair that took place in the waterfalls of Hi'ilave. A man from Waipio happens to journey up to the waterfalls and he sees this lovely, lovely, lovely wahine from Puna. There's a line that says, "Pakele maiau I kanui manu." It means the birds tell the story. There's a lot of metaphors in this song, and I invite you to search it out and understand. Why does it mean so much to my father? It's our genealogy. ila. Aina ia mai ana kapuana. La 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 ila. Ila Okay, good. I just 3 minutes left. I'm going to teach you guys one chant. Everybody does Iala up at Haleakala, wherever you can see the sunrise. I'm going to teach you something. Hands up. Iala. Kala. Kahikina. Hikina is the east, so you got to be pointing east. Okay? So Iala, Kala Kahikina, Kamuana, Kamuana Hohonu. Pi'i Kaleva. Pi'i Kaleva is to climb the sky. Pi'i Kaleva, Kaleva Nu'u. Kahikina. Aya Kala. Iala. For me, this chant has taken new meaning because I've been teaching students at the Sacred Heart School for the last 4 years, Hawaiian studies. While many regard this as the sunrise chant, for me, it is the awakening. Iala is to wake up. Let your consciousness be as bright as the sun, rising from the east, from the depths of the ocean. When you're waking up and you're coming out of slumber and you're somewhere between waking and still sleeping, come out of that. Yeah? Let your consciousness begin to elevate. Elevate your consciousness. Climb that sky. Get to the highest point. Because if you're too busy down here looking like this, you're not going to know what's going on till you get up there. Right?
Yeah.
Pi'i kaleva kaleva nu'u. Broaden your ike. Broaden your horizon, your knowledge. Let your consciousness be like the sun, rising from the east. Right? So next time you guys do that chant, somebody can pa'i, but I want you. Iala e kala ikahikina ikamuana kamuana onu pi kaleva nu'u ikahikina ayakala iala e kala ikahikina ikamuana kamuana honu pi kaleva nu'u ikahikina ayakala Eala e kala ikahikina ikamuana honu pi kaleva nu'u ikahikina ayakala Eala e. The hope is that if you do this enough times, you're going to elevate your consciousness to places it's never been before. Aloha.